What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Hojo Show with your boy Howard. What's going on, y'all? So technically, this video that we are doing today is actually the review of the Carlos and Drea Kelly interview, which was very good to me, if I might say so myself. I think that a lot of women, men, and I've never been married before, well, in prison, but that ain't no real marriage. But I feel like couples that are in real marriages, relationships, I feel like they should kind of sit down and watch that interview together because that was a heavy interview and I really enjoyed that interview. And it was so deep that I had to really take a deep look at myself. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get into this video. But before that, I want to start off by saying thank you guys for giving me all the good compliments, the nice compliments y'all are giving me about my new setup. I appreciate y'all because I be working my butt out trying to get this stuff set up so I can just evolve a little bit because I'm still in my beginning crawling stages of this content creator journey. But I just really have to say I appreciate all of y'all that genuinely support me, are always encouraging me, riding for me. I really appreciate that because y'all do not have to do that. So I just cannot say enough. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. And I hope y'all stick around for as long as I'm here or as long as God allow. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Like I always say, if you're new here, kick off your shoes to get comfortable because we family. Make sure that you like and subscribe. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on so you can be notified whenever I drop another banger like this. And without further ado, y'all ready? Let's get it.
Yes, I'm jaded. Most of the things I don't wanna say. I won't be around while you chase.
Okay, so before I give my review of this interview, I have got to say I am somebody that is big on accountability. I don't mind saying when I'm wrong, and I definitely don't mind congratulating somebody, supporting them, watching them grow, and giving them their kudos. And I think that I have to say, in the beginning of these interviews with Carlos King, I honestly felt like, bitch, you always say the same thing about all of the girls. You always do, and it was hard for me to take his interviews as real and raw because I know we all know that he's cool with so many of them already. So it's kind of like I ain't gonna ask this, I ain't gonna ask that. What else you want me to ask? It always kind of give that, but I can say as he do this a lot more, I am actually really beginning to love his interviews. I ain't gonna even lie. I really am. And I was weighing him out in the beginning about these interviews and how he always prays to say the same thing. But I have to say that I am honestly starting to really love his interviews. And he did a magnificent job with this interview with Drea Kelly. And I swear to you, I just feel like this is something that he was made to do because I swear to you, like this interview with Drea Kelly was my favorite, absolute favorite interview that he has done thus far. And I just got to give him his kudos because this interview is something that, like I said, couples, women, husbands, wives should watch together because, baby, when I tell you this interview had me in tears, I'm telling you, it had me in tears, okay? And I'm a hard bitch to make cry. It had me in tears. So, we're gonna go ahead and start it out from the beginning, and I'm gonna go through like the main points that I really was touched about, felt that was needed to be heard, and people need to listen to a lot more. So I will say, in the beginning of the interview, he was doing his same regular pleasantries with her as he do with all of the rest of them, giving her kudos, which I don't never think that's a bad thing, but it's almost just like everybody can't be the same thing. Anyway, I have to say, when she started out speaking to him, talking about how she started always being just known and told by her parents and stuff that she was different, always just being praised because people just kind of loved her and knew she had a calling on her life. I'm also able to understand that as I watched this interview with her from the beginning, I realized that she naturally has a big personality. When like some people, it can come out forced, and I think that I prejudged her, which is wrong because I thought that from clips that we may see from a show that she may be on, where she may be teaching girls how to dance and stuff, I always used to kind of think that she just added a lot of extra drama to when she was like doing scenes. It's like she knew she was being recorded, so she added a lot of extra. But I learned from this video in this sit down that she is just naturally somebody that has a very big personality. And it's not hard for me to believe that people didn't already see like greatness in her and that she was going to do great things. So I do have to say I prejudged her, and I have to say I love just the way she is still herself even through all of this. Talking about the fact that she, grew up being from the South Side of Chicago. I don't know. It just seems like in Chicago because the murder rate is so crazy. I be just saying to myself like, damn. I know Oprah shows that, but how do people live up there? Jennifer Hudson, mama, was her mama, brother, and nephew got killed up there. Um, but I can see where she is. Drea's a little like she's got that tough, big energy type of effect to her. And I guess I started thinking maybe that's where she got that from because she had to have it growing up somewhere like Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it's crazy because she was telling Carlos how she always had to fight the girls in school and stuff like that. I can believe it because she has a big personality. Like I said, I can definitely believe that. And he went to ask her about her choreography and how did it come about and how did she feel about everyone always praising and loving her for being such a great dancer and teacher as well. And she says she always tell people that she is the most trained untrained dancer because unlike most dancers that I guess are pushed and supported by their parents, on her end it was almost like she could not do both. It was like she couldn't support her family and at the same time do dance when her mom still had bills to pay and they didn't have money like that. You know what I'm saying? So she wasn't able to do both. So she kind of like freestyled. She learned, the things that were most important to her about choreography and the rest she kind of like freestyled watching other people. She talked about going to Debbie Allen's studio and how she fangirled out there. And I just love how she is so honest about her journey because any dancer, anybody can come on there and typically say, oh yeah, baby, I'm the best because I did this. I went to this school. I did like anybody can do that. A lie ain't shit to tell. Okay. I think we all know that. So the fact that she's honest enough to say like I'm the most trained, untrained, she's telling you 50% of me is from what I was trained, and the other 50%, baby, I freestyle and excelled from there. She stated how she was engaged when she first started dancing for R. Kelly. So in my mind, I was thinking, wait a minute, girl, so you was cheating on your man with R. Kelly, but come to find out as she started talking about that journey with the guy that she was engaged to, she stated how she ended up finding out that he had a baby on her while they were in a relationship. And the way that she found out was because she came home and he had the baby laying, I think she had on the bed or on the couch or something like that. And she said, you ain't got to tell me but once and I'm gone. So she said that was her sign to just get the hell out of Dodge and leave him where he was. But then fast forward, she says that come to find out later on down the line, the baby was not even his. So I said, well, ain't that crazy? Because you brought that baby over there to the house of her because you was trying to be honest because you know you fucked up. But come to find out that baby ain't yours, which means you really wouldn't have got caught cheating if you would have been smart enough to have a DNA test done first. You see how they say slippers count? Because you slipped. That man slipped. Okay. And just like that, he was caught, even though he found out the baby ain't even his. You still caught cheating because you thought it was yours. So nigga, you still told me on the cool, I have been cheating on your ass. So you know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of crazy to me. But I feel like everything happened for a reason. So she was supposed to see that, find that out about him. God was supposed to reveal that to her so she can leave his ass. He was asking her how did she start out with R. Kelly, and she told him she said that she met him after the Honey Love video. She also said she did the choreography for Summer Bunny. I used to love that song too off of the 12 Play album. She also stated how she was tired of everybody always talking about she was, I guess you can say, just basically living off of R. Kelly and that, like she don't bring nothing to the table because he did everything. And she said, I don't have to bring anything to the table because I am the table. And she went to breaking down. I'm the table because I was his wife. I mothered his children. Like I did everything I was supposed to do as his woman, as his wife. So I don't got to bring anything to the table because me being his wife and bearing his children and being a great mother to them alone is my ass being brought to the table. I love that because it seems like a lot of people, I'm not even gonna say it seems like, because it don't seem like shit. A lot of people tend to feel as if women in relationships with men that have kids by the man, being faithful to him, taking care of their kids, at home, being a great mother. Is almost like a lot of times people like to disregard that as it and say things like, well, you don't get no reward for that because that's what you're supposed to do. Yes, that is true. She is supposed to be a mother and take care of her responsibilities as well as he is. But a lot of times the men and the husband put all of the majority of the responsibilities of a wife and a mother to his children on the woman. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like because they're paying all of the main bills and keeping a roof over their head, that they doing their part, when in reality, a woman having children and being a great mother to them, doing a lot of stuff that y'all as fathers miss out on because y'all are at work and y'all can't miss or whatever, that's still a job. And it's not a part-time job. And we have to stop minimizing mothering and a woman that's raising your children and giving them the tools that they need and the love that they need from a mother. We got to just stop making it seem like that's something small. That's not small, especially in the world we live in. That's big as hell. And that's something to be proud of, because when your kids grow up, they will be able to tell a lot of people that I was loved. I don't care what y'all got to say about me and my mama or my family. My mama loved me. You know what I'm saying? And that's something to be proud of. I don't give a damn what nobody say. And I'm a mama's boy. Me and my siblings are all pretty much alike when it comes to that. Like, my mother and my daddy did their part, but my mama is the one that was just there for everything, just nurtured us and just gave us all the love that we really, really needed as children growing up, and still do to this day. Hands down, that's my girl. Okay, so I feel Drea Kelly on all of that. I really do, and I really wish people stop minimizing her place in life and situations with R. Kelly and being a mother as if that's not a job. What the fuck she got to bring to the table? She ain't got to bring nothing to the table. Like she said, she is the table. I agree. I agree. And she also stated that the only difference in her and Tina Turner's position is that Tina Turner sung on stage with Ike. She danced on stage with R. Kelly. And I feel like she made a very valid point, because Carla was asking her how does she feel about that when people try to compare things like that. But the way she laid it out, that's is as clarifying as it could be, because it don't get no simpler than that. And if you never understood, you definitely can see her point. I can see her point just by her saying it alone. Like, yeah, just because Tina Turner held a mic in her hand and sung in it, it doesn't mean that she did less because she was his choreographer. Because like she said, not only was she his choreographer, she was his videographer as well. She did a lot of meetings with him, because he couldn't even read. So, like, let's not do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I love her after watching all of this. Carlos had asked her, when did she meet R. Kelly? And she told Carlos she met him when she was 19 and he was 26. And it makes sense because how old was Aaliyah when he married her? Wasn't Aaliyah like 15 or 16? So it's not far fetched. It sounds accurate as hell because that's his type. So this man been preying on younger women. He was preying on Drea on the cool. If you really want to be technical, it sounds like he was preying on her in the cool, because what the hell do you as a 26-year-old man have in common with a 19-year-old? Like, it's weird. But that's R. Kelly for you, okay? And then it got a little deep. Reason I say this is because she started to express, when Carlos asked her like how things started going downhill, she was expressing that you got to keep in mind her abuse didn't just start with R. Kelly. She came from abuse. Her grandfather was abusive. Her mother was abusive. She said she had actually witnessed her grandfather choking the goddamn shit out of her grandmother and slamming her head into the wall or something. And it all makes sense. Of course, she stayed with somebody like R. Kelly. She said her mother hated her and used to put her hands on her. I mean, of course, that's the reason she stayed with R. Kelly. Because why? Let me see if somebody else can understand where I'm going with this. Of course, she stayed with R. Kelly if her grandfather was abusive and she watched that growing up. Then her mother was abusive and she dealt with that growing up. Of course, she stayed with R. Kelly because that's all she know. You know what I'm saying? That's familiar to her. So of course she's not going to just break and run and doing all of that crazy shit, because this is what she is accustomed to and how she was raised. And when you realize that, a lot of stuff starts to make sense. That's why me at 38 years old, I told my mom a couple of years ago that I have to start really inquiring and asking people how their relationships is with their parents when they come into my life, because a lot of times when you meet people that have had some issues and dealt with abuse and stuff like that with their parents and stuff, or whoever growing up, they still have a lot of unhealed trauma that they probably need to go to therapy for. And unfortunately, I'm not nobody therapist, and I really don't have time for you to get in your feelings and start acting weird and expressing that type of behavior with me. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that after watching and hearing her say that, it just put a lot of pieces together and a lot of stuff that makes sense. And I just really got to give her kudos to that, because, oh Jesus, I know that takes a lot to walk around with when you come from nothing but that, and you can't get rid of being surrounded by abuse. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all might understand where I'm coming from, but that just got to be a lot, right? Then she also stated, for the girls that always say a man ain't gonna ever hit them without them leaving, she said he's probably already 9 times out of 10 abused you verbally and more than likely sexually. You just don't realize it because you think abuse starts with the principal. And I was like, damn, she ain't never lying. I'm like, that's deep. And then she said, a healthy relationship is good days with bad moments. A toxic relationship is bad days with good moments. And I was like, you know what? When you really put it in perspective like that, it just make a lot of y'all probably think. That's why I said women and men relationships, even gay relationships, but couples, you in relationships should watch this together, because you as a man or as a woman cussing your husband out or your boyfriend and talking down to them, and y'all going at it and saying crazy stuff that you know you really don't mean, that's also considered abuse. It doesn't necessarily have to be you getting punched or like abused physically. That is verbal abuse. And that only leads up to physical abuse. You follow what I'm saying? So a lot of people need to check themselves when it comes to stuff like that, because on the cool, once a man starts verbally abusing you, or a woman, for the men that gets abused, starts verbally abusing you, those are the red flags that you should pay attention to, and probably a sign from God that you need to go ahead and end the relationship and get out of Dodge, because it's not going to get any better, right? Like, it's not. And in order for you to want better for yourself, you have to acknowledge and know that you deserve better, even when you are in the midst of being in a relationship with someone that you love, but you're putting up with verbal abuse. You got to know your worth and understand you just are worth more than that. And when you stay in it, you're only doing a disservice to yourself, because in the end, you're not going to be happy, because after the verbal abuse, the physical abuse is going to start, and you're going to be wishing you left when the verbal abuse started. You know what I'm saying? And it'll make you be upset with yourself and living with a lot of regret, because it's like, damn, why didn't I just fucking leave when I saw this coming? You know what I'm saying? It kind of made me think about that song by Eve off her First Lady album called Love is Blind. It just kind of made me think about that, because love is truly blind, because when you in love with somebody, you probably will look over a lot of this shit and be saying, I ain't gonna never let a man hit me and I ain't gonna get somewhere, when not even realizing he been verbally abusing the shit out of you and you should have already been gone. You know what I'm saying? I like that she made that point, because people need to understand that before they quick to say, that's the straw that's gonna break the camel back once he put his hand on me. No, baby, you need to be getting gone before then. You know what I'm saying? What else she said? Oh my God, Carlos is asking her other things about, like, how did she feel? He was telling her how pretty she was and stuff, and she interjected and said something that really touched me. She said she didn't think that she was beautiful for a long time, and I'm gonna actually play this clip so y'all can understand why she said that, and then I'm gonna kind of like chime in a little bit. All right, let's see.
So I grew up never thinking I was beautiful. I still deal with that to this day. So when people come up to me and they say things like, "Oh, you're really pretty in person," or "Oh, you're much prettier in person," they have no idea how deep that goes for me. Because you have to think, if someone strikes you in your face, this is what you present to the world. This is the first thing that people see. So if your mother, the person who's supposed to love you the most, protect you, her go-to is the thing that you present to the world, that means you see nothing beautiful in me. You see no value in me. And you could not possibly love me in my face. And I'm not talking like, oh, be quiet. I mean, with every inch of hate that woman could muster. So the way I grew up was to not love myself, to not think I'm worthy, and to feel that there's no escape from this. Because not only is it my grandfather, it's my mother, now it's my husband.
When I tell y'all, that broke me down because I cannot fathom my mother putting her hands on me like that. I can't. I cannot fathom any mother putting their hands on their child like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be a fucked up individual to do something like that to your child. By the grace of God, that lady ain't even tried to take her own life, because that's got to be a lot. It's got to be a lot. And that should teach a lot of y'all lessons about when you're so quick to bully and judge people like her and bash her because you don't know this girl's story. And you could really push somebody over the edge like that, thinking you just having a key, making fun of somebody and just playing. It's just, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. She also talked about how she couldn't really go run and tell anything because she's basically at the bottom of the totem pole where she was when she was in a relationship with R. Kelly. And when she broke it down, she stated she was the wife, but you got the directors getting paid, the other dancers getting paid, all of these big wigs that are surrounding, pushing R. Kelly and being a great team. There's no way she could have went and told them anything and looked for help, because she said to them, with her, it was almost like, bitch, shut up. You gonna make us lose money, because all of them getting paid. So if she come to say something to any of them, or she put up a big fuss to any of them and try to go forward, it's kind of like, we got to keep this bitch silent because this nigga is our bread and butter. Fuck whatever she going through. You know what I'm saying? So when she said it's deeper than that, it's like I get it. I never thought of it like that, but I get it, because R. Kelly's the king of R&B. Everybody loved R. Kelly. So I can very well understand pushing whatever she going through under the rug just to make sure that this thing continue to bring in revenue, because that's how you eat and sleep and feed your family. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I ain't gonna lie, I would have gave everything up to just to help her get rid of his ass. Like, I ain't gonna even lie. I wouldn't care, because if God did it for me before, if God saw to it to bless me before in that position, then he is not going to have any problem blessing me and placing me in that same position when he see the kindness of my heart and my mission to help this woman. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't get it. I don't get it. And she also talked about how when she put out, I guess, like, basically trying to put him on blast and call Arquette on his shit, she said that Jive Records and his attorney put out a statement on her behalf and minimized her abuse down to a spat. They doing damage control, because if we lose him, ain't none of us gonna get no money. It's really fucked up when you think about it. Like, if you really think about it, that's fucked up. She also talked about how he was so powerful. She said that he had police officers to be his security, and it was just no way for her to just go and run and tell somebody that she felt like she can trust when you had somebody like him, a machine like R. Kelly, that was being pushed. You know what I'm saying? She also went on a rant about how black women give her more flack and hatred the most. Um, and I think that that's just crazy, because when we all know and always talk about how the black woman is the most disrespected woman in the United States, what makes you still harass her and speak unkind to her and make it seem like everything is her fault? That's fucked up to me. It's fucked up, because everything ain't her fault. She didn't ask to be placed in that position and start getting abused. She didn't ask for that. So to try to minimize her experience and being another black woman, you should second guess that, because you could easily be her one day, or your daughter or your son could be. So you just can't, to me, you just can't do stuff like that to people that's been abused. You just can't. It's very selfish. It's ignorance as well mixed up in there. And it's just not cool at the end of the day. It's just not. It's really, really, really not. As black women, like, black women should want to always support each other through and through, not siding with no nigga like R. Kelly. Because when I see women siding with people like R. Kelly and they going to back for him like that, I think to myself is, I pray they don't have kids, because them kids will be neglected. And when I say neglected, I mean when them kids come to them and tell them that someone done something to them or abused them or something like that, they gonna turn and look the other way, or just avoid the situation and minimize it, just like Jive Records was doing with her. You see what it's going? Like, that's not cool at all. Like, it's just not. That's fucked up. I'm sorry, it's fucked up. Black women to do that lady like that. And I've seen a lot of those comments and the stuff that they be saying to her. It's cruel. It's really cruel. Oh, then she started telling him about how she escaped because Carlos was asking her, how did you get out of it? And she said he was verbally abusive in front of her daughter, Joanne. And she said that was basically it for her because she didn't like the way he did her daughter. And I don't blame her because my mama don't play by her kids. So I do not blame her at all. I don't. It's just crazy how everyone has made her out to be a villain all this time when that motherfucker had been found guilty and sentenced and is in prison. He was found guilty for a reason, and that's because his ass was guilty. So for you to still come online and defend him and wear her out, that's real fucked up. And I mean, I hope that you understand how karma works and you realize that karma can definitely spin a block on you at any time. And you could be the same motherfucker having a woe is me moment because you feel like you need help and guidance and everybody else turn the other cheek on you. So you ought to think about that. Then Carlos asked her about how did she feel about seeing Beyonce do her dance. And she was elated. Like she was extremely happy, even just expressing her feelings and how she felt when she found out Beyonce did her dance. And Carlos is asking her, do you feel like she understood you, like you could like connected with her basically by her doing that dance? And she said yes, she felt like Beyonce was kind of letting her know, and the way she took it, like Beyonce was letting her know, like, I see you, girl. That's Beyonce though. So Carlos was asking her and referencing Jay-Z and R. Kelly doing that tour, and she was kind of boastful about that. And the only thing that I had to say about that was, if I can recall, that tour they didn't even finish because Jay-Z and R. Kelly got into it, and from what I remember years ago, somebody got maced. I think it was R. Kelly that got maced. I don't remember if he was drunk or something like that, but somebody got. I think it was R. Kelly ended up getting maced, and then that's when they ended the tour. Somebody can fact check that for me if y'all remember. But if I can remember years ago, that was like the straw that broke the camel's back with their tour, and then I think they did like a press conference right after that, a few days or something like that, letting everybody know that the tour was canceled. So yeah, he definitely was on some crazy shit to even do something like that. But I feel like, girl, you boastful about that, but R. Kelly he really didn't do the right thing on that tour. He made himself look pretty bad, if I'm being honest. So everything else in the interview was a bunch of regular talk or whatever. But I did a video today blasting this woman that had the audacity to say some of these people need to be humbled, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Y'all don't like a woman that's confident. At all. Y'all do not like a woman that is confident. Really, a lot of people don't like people in general that's confident. They get too confident for y'all, then it turns into this whole hate train. But why? Why? Like, I don't understand why. I honestly don't understand why. I don't think that she deserves any of the shit that y'all give her. I just don't. That's just me personally. And I just don't feel like nobody's in a position to humble anybody because you are not God. You are not God, okay? So trying to humble somebody or feeling like they need to be humble and they need to dummy down herself for y'all, that's a you problem, bitch. That ain't her problem. And she don't got to be humble. She don't. I said earlier, if somebody is popping their shit and they confident and they popping their shit, they got every right to. People have every right to pop their shit and have confidence and stand in their confidence. It's not their fault because you lack that one thing that you see they carry so well. It's not their fault, baby. It's not. It's your fault. And you need to go and seek help. Because if I was telling, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm just not. Humble myself for what? I'm just not. I got a right to be confident. If that triggers your insecurities and make you project, baby, guess what? You need to focus on the call that's coming from in the house and not that other person. That's just being straight up. And she's aware how people love to always throw out, why is she keeping that last name? She got every right to keep that motherfucker. Every right to keep that motherfucker last name. It shouldn't bother y'all that she keeps that man last name. But for some reason it do. She don't owe y'all anything. She got that right to keep that last name. I just think y'all should get over it. Cause that's crazy. What else you want the girl to do? I don't get it. And then to also bash and get in the comments dragging her daughter when her daughter came forth to tell her side of the story and what her dad did to her. Y'all did her the same way. Everything is not a money grab. I need y'all to understand that everything is not a money grab, bitch. Everything just ain't. Please stop that. Like, please have empathy for people. Have a damn heart. If you breathing right now, bitch, you got a heart. Use that motherfucker. That's all I'm saying. Use it. Like, god damn. I'm gonna be so honest with y'all. I wanted to wait till the end of this video to say this to y'all. Watching Drea Kelly interview has also made me aware that I have been completely judgmental as fuck when it comes to R. Kelly. And the reason that I say that is because years ago, when all of this stuff finally came out about him, I deleted all his music. I have refused to listen to his music. I have not heard anything by R. Kelly in years. Years. I have not heard anything by him. You know what I'm saying? But I realize that I have been extremely judgmental. And the reason I say that is because when I really sit down and think after her video, I really sit down and think to myself. And I said to myself, how is it that you are so against R. Kelly and supporting his music? Not so far as the shit that he's done, because that's fucked up. But I always am that person that's always like, I do not listen to his shit. Don't play his shit in here. But then when I think about it, it's like, bitch, how you gonna be judgmental and say the reason why you not listening to his shit because of all of this shit that he got found guilty of when me, have been found guilty and have done time in prison and still got support from my family, which they did not have to do. So I'm judging this man music saying I ain't listening to his shit no more because of what he did when God allowed my mother, my sister, my dad, like God allowed a lot of people to still leave the door open for my ass even after me doing what I done to go to prison. So if my people can forgive me and still support me and love on me, I don't think there's anything wrong with supporting R. Kelly and loving on him. I mean, as far as from her kids, you know what I'm saying? But as far as his music, I've been extremely judgmental. And with that, I learned that I have to do better. And I also learned that that's just selfish of me to treat and look at him like that without standing my ass in the mirror and looking at my goddamn self and remembering what the hell I did that sent me to prison for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? And so with that being said, I told myself I was going to start listening back to R. Kelly music. I said that because I can't be judgmental like that when I ain't no different. Now, I don't mess with kids. I ain't did no shit like that. But I'm speaking as far as I'm a convicted felon. I done something extremely fucked up. I was sent to prison and God still forgave me. He gave me a second chance. He gave me a second chance to be with my mom, my sister, my dad. He granted me forgiveness and a second chance at what a lot of times I don't even feel like I deserve. So who am I to judge this man's music and say I'm not going to listen to his shit and talk about him like a dog when I'm not no better? You know what I'm saying? I ain't no goddamn better. It's like I really realized that I've been being the pot calling the kettle black because I'm not no better. The only difference is our charges are different. But I ain't no better. And the same way, she was still reconciling with him and trying to make peace for the sake of their children and just to make peace and support him. I do not feel it's wrong because my parents still supported me. My family still supported me, even in my bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I waited to the end of the video to say that because I got to take accountability when I really look in the mirror and think about stuff she was saying, that I've been very judgmental of my damn self. And I'm not going to stop listening to his music. It's been years, but his ass getting listened to more now from this day forward. I said that. I did. But I want to say this before I leave. I really hope that a lot of people watched this interview and understood that you can't be so quick to judge somebody, especially like Drea Kelly, when, like she said, you have no clue the journey, because the only motherfucking thing that y'all and me know and have been aware of is the shit that has been put online on the blogs. Nobody knows that lady personally except for like some celebrities. Y'all don't know that lady personally. I don't know her personally. To just do her like that, y'all are wrong for that. She does not deserve any of that she's getting. But I'll give her kudos for still standing 10 toes down and not running from none of y'all. I really commend her for that, because it take a lot. I know that it has to take a lot for her to constantly deal with that for years and years. And that man was found guilty for the shit he actually did. She ain't did nothing wrong to y'all or nobody. Same way I check myself, sometimes you got to look in the mirror and check your motherfucking self. That's all I'm saying. Check y'all motherfucking self and take accountability, because a lot of times it will make you feel a whole lot better when you realize it's nothing wrong with saying, I'm wrong. I'm dead ass wrong, because I ain't no different. and I damn sure ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want y'all to drop down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this interview. I really appreciate you guys. I love y'all like I always say. I really do. Thank you for supporting me genuinely, loving on me. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you continue to like and subscribe. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on so you can be notified whenever I drop another banger like this. I'm out. Love y'all. Peace.